Hey guys, this is a long playing review for Zap T Balls, the advanced edition on the Amstrad CPC, and this is a public domain game, and this is the only sort of box art that was available for it. But of course, public domain means it's free to copy and distribute, as long as you don't sort of crack it and sell it on for profit. And well, hopefully, guys, you saw my previous video. Which was just Zap T Balls, like the original version. This is the much better and much expanded version with all kinds of like clever bells and whistles, graphical effects and touches, and well, anyway, here we go. And this is the sort of the title sequence starting up. Oh yeah, each disc was individually sort of named and numbered. Actually, it's rather unusual. Coded by Elmar Krieger, he who went on to make the excellent Super Cauldron and Prehistoric 2. And basically, guys, just in case you didn't see the last video and don't know what Zap T Balls is about, very quickly again, it's basically a Pang clone. Pang was only released on the Amstrad GX4000 console on cartridge, all for the Plus machines. Again, only on cartridge. So if you're a normal sort of Amstrad, you won't be able to play Pang. So Mr. Krieger took it upon himself to well, do a version for the Amstrad, for the normal Amstrads, but you did need a 128k memory and a disc machine, so it was a 6128 only game. But if you watch the last video, you will see the presentation is vastly improved, and also the gameplay tweaks. First of all, guys, we're loading from disc here, and music's played at the same time. That's a very, very difficult trick to achieve, programming-wise. So that's a very, very clever disc routine he's got on the go here. And that's extremely difficult to do, and anyone who's sort of a non-programmer will find that sort of hard to grasp perhaps, but very clever. And here's the sort of like main title screen. Now, Elmar Krieger, the programmer, started off as sort of a demo writer, and yeah, the demo origins can sort of be seen here. These are sort of scrolling text and rasters. And then we're going to see sort of rotating balls, sort of a demo coming up in a second. All sort of like, you know, pretty much staples of the demo coding scene back in the early 90s. And like rotating stick figures and things like that. Yeah, all well and good. It didn't seem that relevant to the game though, apart from the ball figures here. Yeah, and this is where we choose the world to start on. And there's basically 4 worlds. Well, 3 main worlds, and the first world is like a test zone called the Cuddly Test World, which you can see sort of selected there already on the screen. I'll leave this demo running a little bit in case you want to read most of the message at the bottom there. There is, with the first game, there wasn't any kind of backstory or sort of instruction manual given out. With the Advanced Edition, there was, and the backstory is frankly ridiculous, really silly. I'm not going to read it out. It sort of involves a mad scientist called Dr. Morlock, who you don't even see in the game, by the way. And there's a strange story about him buying an Amstrad CPC Plus and using it to destroy all other computers in the world, or so a bit immature, really, a bit stupid and silly. But basically, you control 2 guys, Ramses and Columbus, and basically you've just got to destroy all the balls in each of the worlds, and that's the end of the game. Now I'm only going to be sort of doing like a commentary through this sort of first part. In total we're looking at about sort of well over an hour and a half's worth of you know, video footage. So I'm going to split this into sort of 4 sections, 4 uploads of each world, and I'll also do an upload of like the entire game in one go, just for the hell of it. Make it a little bit easier for you viewing. So here we are loading up the Cuddly Test World. Nice fun little introduction to the game. And again, lovely lovely music so far, and lovely graphics and presentation. Although if you thought the title screen we just seen was really garish, wait till you see the title screens of each of the worlds. Ouch! Yeah, the text is sort of barely readable there. Oh, you get some of the backstory there as well appearing. But really nice graphic effects and stuff like that. It would have been better if you could read the text, but you could just about make it out. So all very clever, all very lovely presented, and very well done by Elmar Krieger. And obviously it can't escape its sort of demo roots just yet. I think Mr. Krieger already came into his own really with, like, you know, Super Cauldron and Prehistoric 2. But this is this still is a fantastic game. I might have wanted to tweak the colours a little bit though, because this first world is, again, even the backgrounds are rather garish. Sort of bright pinks and yellows and bright blues and bright greens. Anyway, let's get on to the first one. Very nice simple first level, but it's meant to be a simple introduction to the game. Your passwords every 2 levels, very kind of him to do. 6 lives to start with, no continues, but well, you know, generous amount of lives, and with passwords. It really is needed though with, wow, is it 60 or 80 levels? I can't remember now. Yeah, I think it's about 60 levels. So it's, wow, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Well, you wouldn't have spent anything. This is obviously public domain. Actually, I'm not sure on this advanced edition. Perhaps because there were limited edition discs and they were individually named and numbered. I think technically this is public domain. Anyway, I'm not debating that. But yeah, as I mentioned in the last video, guys, the main sort of selling point of this game really is like the really clever sort of sprite routines that Elmar has programmed here to give really smooth, fast and fluid sprite movement from all objects concerned, whether it be the tons of balls on screen at one time and your player you control and his gun. Everything's silky smooth, fast, responsive. You know, collision detection absolutely spot on as well. So he's done a fantastic job in those regards, and I think that really is the sort of from a programming point of view, that's kind of really, if you put aside all the clever demo effects and the music during loading of the disc, really I think he should be most proud of these sprite routines, because it's truly excellent. You know, the poor old Amstrad suffered sometimes with you know, slowed down or not very fluid movement. It had no hardware sprite or scrolling support at all. So yeah, absolutely fantastically done. Now I said I'm only going to be sort of commentating on just this one part. I'd probably love to sort of talk through all the other worlds, but I don't think people would appreciate me sort of inanely jabbering along for over an hour. Well, what I would like to mention is, well, next part is definitely well worth watching because things start to really spice up with some clever new things, like weather effects, other sort of enemies like snowballs being fired at you, because the next world is kind of like the ice world, so you get snowballs fired out of machines at you. There's like ice on the floor which you can skid across, and on later worlds there's kind of like hidden traps and spikes and platforms that only move after activating something, or yeah, so it starts getting really clever, and you can see why it's a vast improvement over the original Zap T Balls, which was only released a few months earlier than this. So it's really gone to town on it, and really sort of addressed some of the criticisms that it was lacking in variety. So yeah, well worth at least watching a sample of each of the worlds. There's some clever stuff going on in them. And even though the only thing that I just was a little disappointed about was that there wasn't any sort of variation in the weapon, as in special power-ups, like you would have in Pang. The only variation is sometimes the level sets your, let's call it your spiral gun, at certain heights. Like on this level, the spiral gun only fires a very, very short distance up, and sometimes obviously that makes the level a lot harder. There's some really, really frustratingly hard levels in this game later on. In fact, some of the hardest levels are in the first world, the ice world, which will be up next. Few bugs, sort of like balls getting stuck in small areas, never to escape again and can't be hit. But you know what, I'm pretty sure the same thing occurred at times in the Pang as well, on the Amstrad. Other things to mention very quickly is on about 2-3 levels, you can't get past them unless you've got 2 players, and you can have simultaneous 2-player action, of course, but there's about 2-3 levels that require 2 players to sort of work cooperatively to beat the level, otherwise it's sort of impossible to beat, which is I suppose it's a clever touch, but it's a bit frustrating if you're on your own and trying to do a long play like me and having to sort of have 2 hands on 12 different keys or whatever to try and control and get through it in a very tight time limit. But the annoying thing about that is if you've been playing through as a 1 player, it means that you basically have to quit the game, go back to the title screen, select start in 2-player mode, enter a password for the level just to get there again so you can beat it. And I found that really stupid that you can't just sort of enter as a 2nd player at any point. And yeah, I get annoyed when there's not much focus on sort of the user interface and usability of simple menu system, and being able to sort of get back and forth when you need to. The fact that you had to almost sort of reset the game and reload it just so you could start in 2-player mode to beat one sodding level, that was really annoying actually. But hey, I can't complain too much, guys. This is a public domain and free game. So yeah, that's really sort of my only criticism. And this is the end of the Cuddly Test World, and it's on to the Ice World next. I'm going to leave my commentary here, but overall, guys, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 3/4. It's just sneaking up to a 9 out of 10 for me. So, but brilliant stuff, and hope you enjoy the rest of the videos for the advanced edition of Zap T Balls. Cheers.